Alright, welcome back everybody to part 3, the final installment of my Chia Farewell video. And where we left off, I was talking about the price of Chia continuing to go down and how I believe that the sale of the pre-farm is not helping that situation. And now let's end up with what's going to happen and what are my thoughts on the SEC and the cases that have come out between Ripple and Torres, and what the SEC is going to be doing in the future, what higher courts might be doing to resolve some of these disputes. So let's open up one of Gene's posts here. But bottom line up front, where I'm at, and this is just my opinion. I'm not a judge, I'm not a court of appeal, I'm not the SEC. I'm not making the rules, I'm just reading them and forming opinions along the way. I think the sale of XCH should be characterized as the sale of a security. Now, Chia Network and the people involved there are not dumb. I'm not saying they're dumb at all. I'm not second guessing it. I did an interview with Mr. Chow, who's an awesome guy. He's the in-house counsel for Chia, and I'm sure he's read way more than me on all this stuff. And they figured out how to make to meet an exemption. So even if the sale were deemed to be a security, it's exempt from registration in this case because Chia's market maker is a foreign one, meaning outside of the United States. So Gene asked me if I knew what a certain thing meant, and I said, yeah, securities sold outside the US don't need to be registered with the SEC. And then Gene said there's no US exchanges directly listing XCH, and our market maker is a non-US entity. Can you imagine why your rank speculation could be annoying to a securities professional? BW free. And then I apologize for annoying him and everyone and say that all I can do is speculate when I have information gaps. This was the first time I had ever heard about this exemption being met in this way. And Gene asks, how could we have continued forward in our SEC process after those sales in a way that remained positive if we were wrong on that point? And I said, I've been asking myself the same question. And I really wish I could be a fly on the wall. I know I can't. And the S1 that CNI submitted to the SEC is a private one. And they shouldn't be sharing that information with anyone. But the way it works is then the SEC can write back letters asking for more information or inquiring about certain things that maybe sets off an alarm bell on the SEC side of things. And we know that the first S1 was submitted by Chia back in 2018. You can look it up yourself on the Edgar system. It's a public database, EDGAR, Edgar. You can see that first submission, basic information, like how much money they were seeking to sell on the market and stuff like that. And then it was resubmitted again, I believe it was in 2023. You can see that too on Edgar. And it looks a lot different between 2018 and 2023. Different people signing off on things, different numbers being used. And I really do wonder, I don't know, this is again rank speculation, as Gene called it, rank speculation, that the SEC might be having a problem with this. It could be a sticking point. I don't know. I know that it's taken a long time, 6 years since the first S1 filing, and I don't believe that there's been any green light given by the SEC. And then Gene says I should apologize to the community for scaring them. I'm not here to scare anyone, okay? You make your own decisions. As you watch this video, as you consume more content, as you read the cases that have come out from the district courts, form your own opinion. Don't take my word for it or opinion, because like I said, I'm blind. I'm an outsider looking in. I can only speculate. I have knowledge gaps out the wazoo. I have no idea what's going on. But setting that aside, nothing looks good. This all looks bearish for me. Okay, here's another one. Gene said, Bram and I are morons and doing it wrong. Then just leave. Bye. BW Free, I'm a bit annoyed at your rank speculation about OMFG Chia is a security while I was on vacation. Are you out or in? If you're out, why are you here? For the first time, I told Gene in the community, I sold my bags and shut down my farm. I fully capitulated. And it's kind of awkward. I've been given this community badge of honor, whatever it is. And now here I am, an apostate, so to speak. Tells me to stop spreading FUD. I respond, I'm sharing my opinions and I'm telling the truth until I get banned in a respectful manner. And then he says, I'll take no responsibility for utterly ignoring what Thomas and I explained and going on a disingenuous jihad for your amusement. Well, none of this is amusing to me. I lost a ton of money. I'm taking a lot of the blame for that, in that I overspent on capital expenditures. I bought a lot of new cutting edge equipment. I didn't use what I have. I was expanding this farm as quickly as I could because it was profitable. And then I shut it off when it was not profitable. Also, I don't, in my own defense, believe I ignored anyone. In fact, I re-watched my own interview of Mr. Chow while I was on my vacation. And he couldn't answer some of my questions, some of my tougher questions. And that's because they're applying to IPO and you can't share everything. You gotta hold your cards to your chest on most of the stuff. So the thing I really wanted to know from Mr. Chow was what is the SEC saying about Chia Network's sales of the pre-farm? Can't answer that. But that's key. That's clutch. They know something that I don't. But yeah, I don't like to really gamble that much when I don't know what I'm gambling on. Okay. Gene says, Brian, may you show me where the investment of money in the promoter happened in Block 5. We'll all wait. And I said, I don't follow what you're getting at. I'm focusing on the pre-farm that's been sold. And then Gene asks, could the strategic reserve, the pre-farm sales, change the other 10 million Chia into a security? The other 10 million Chia are all the Chia that have been farmed to date. And he's asking, could their sales of 50,000 per month change all the rest of the XCH? And I responded, not according to the district court in Binance. So that's one judge at the district court level who said that there's not this transmutation that occurs when there is the sale of a security as a digital asset. You can compartmentalize and not contaminate the rest. And this is where, people are going to be really judgmental towards me for voicing this opinion, saying that I'm a know-it-all. But I'm going to just say that I think that judge was wrong. I think the judge was wrong in Binance. And I think that if the SEC chooses to appeal these decisions and the District Court of Appeal and the appellate justices take a look at this closer, I think that there's a very high chance of this judge being overturned. And my opinion, again, I think that when a digital asset crosses that line and is sold as a security, it should be registered as a security. I think it should contaminate the rest of the supply. There is no way to compartmentalize and segregate that digital XCH from all the rest. The unfair stuff from the fair stuff. It's now in the circulating supply. It's all contaminated. This is no longer gold. This is a thing. It's all the same thing. It's XCH. And I believe that it should be characterized all as a security. I think it was done once it was sold. And step 1 of the Howey test was clearly passed. I'm not going to go into dreadful detail on all the other steps of the Howey test. Maybe if I ever do another video about this, I don't know if I'll be motivated to, but we could go through each step of the Howey test and why I think that this should be characterized as a security. At the bottom here, tell me what Reg S is. Reg S is where you can meet an exemption if you sell to a foreign entity and not register as a security. And then the final nail in the coffin was Gene said that, look, BW Free, unlike me, you may have actually depressed the price of XCH with a rank speculation. I would like you to think about that for a moment. I don't think for 1 minute I have the influence. I mean, that would be awesome if I had power to move entire markets. I'm a nobody from the outside looking in. I'm a farmer who published a handful of videos on YouTube about growing my farm. The biggest one being one, it had like 50,000 views or something on my 12 pebibyte farm at the time. After that video, by the end I had doubled my size to 24. But I don't think I'm depressing anything. I think I'm sharing my opinion on 1, the economics of what selling the pre-farm does to the market and how it depresses price. And on 2, I'm saying that these sales of the pre-farm appear to be problematic from a legal standpoint, and it has yet to be seen how this legal dust is going to settle. Is the SEC going to ever bring an action? I don't know. Is the election of a new president in the United States going to change the SEC's makeup and attitude towards digital assets? I don't know. All I know is after reading Howey and after reading some of the public policies behind why we have securities regulations, it makes total sense now why Gary Gensler has cryptocurrencies in his crosshairs. I get it now. 100% I get it. It's not being regulated the same way as the stock market. It's not being regulated to protect retail. The big picture, the public policy of why we have these regulations makes perfect sense why XCH would be one of those getting regulated with a 21 million coin pre-farm that's being sold, some say dumped, on retail. Some are calling it the slowest rug pull that's ever happened. But it is, in a way, I think a slowly boiling of a frog. You can't really feel it. It's happening relatively slowly, but the heat is being turned up over time, and the price is dropping over time. And the price is dropping for many reasons, in my opinion, one of which would be selling the pre-farm. Another one is the lack of adoption by retail, not being on Tier 1 exchanges, not being on Ledger for hardware support, not being on any Tier 1 exchanges, Kraken, Binance. No easy ramps aside from Crypto.com if you're in the United States. These are all huge impediments to adoption, to retail getting involved. I know that's been said many times. That's not Chia's target market. They are looking at enterprise, and they're looking at governments, really big entities. They don't want to waste their time with retail. I think that was a mistake, though, and it's part of the reason XCH price keeps going down. There's not demand, and there's not a reason for people to want to buy it. So, wrapping up, very long rant. I'm, again, really sad that this is how everything is ending for me. I hope for all my friends still hanging on to hope that I'm wrong sitting here today, that next year, you know, XCH is triple digits and everyone's laughing at me again for being wet toilet paper hands. I really do hope that. I mean, I don't want you guys all to lose money, but I also want to make this video so that people don't remember or see my old stuff and get into this now, thinking that they're going to do well, or that this is a good investment. I don't think farming is a good investment, and I wouldn't buy XCH either. So anyway, long rant about this. I hope that you know, I get some good feedback here in my comment section. I watched Poor Investors' last video where he kind of let it all out, and I thought, you know, I'm gonna do the same thing in a different way, but hopefully explain where I'm coming from, why I think the way I think. And if you still got hopium, good for you. Good for you. It's good to have hope and work towards something. I still think the team is brilliant. Bram Cohen's brilliant. All the guys working there, I like them. I'm just sad to see what's happening here. Hope it turns around. Hope it does IPO. Hope the SEC doesn't put the kibosh on it, because I don't know, you know, what's next if they can't IPO. The runway can only go so long. Alright, gang, stay in touch. You know where to find me, and y'all take care. Invest in the S&P 500, not financial advice.